Hey guys, it's Jeff from Magnolia Photography SC, and as you can see, out on location today. Today is an early day for me at work, and so I am just walking around the areas that I have available to me right from my property. So I have to be a little cautious. I recently had some hernia surgery, and I'm only 3 weeks as of yesterday from the surgery. And so the first 4 weeks are pretty critical as far as being able to lift weight. You're really not supposed to lift more than 10, maybe 15 pounds. This is the first time that I've actually put my lens on my monopod. It seems to be doing okay. We'll see how it goes. I don't want to push it because it would really suck to have a recurrent hernia and need another surgery. But at any rate, we're out here this afternoon trying to see what's going on with wildlife. I also just purchased the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and that's how I'm recording this today. Really looking to get out more into the field and take you guys along on these adventures so you can see a little bit more of what I'm doing from a wildlife perspective. I've mentioned several times in my videos, and I'll mention again, things have been pretty quiet here because of the winter type months. A lot of the birds not here, but I do see more activity. Things are starting to pick up a little bit more again. Things are starting to return. So I don't know what we have in store for us this afternoon while we're out here. It may be a pretty quick trip, but we'll see, right? You never know what wildlife is going to give you. But hey, thanks for joining me today, and let's see what we can capture. All right, so really nothing much was going on over in the area that I was just at. So now we moved over to the creek. I say creek, but I use that term loosely because it's not like some kind of babbling brook that you come across in the woods. This is a big creek. Boating goes on here. A couple days ago this week, a couple times, matter of fact, dolphins were swimming through here. So this is a pretty big body of water. And so we're going to see if we can catch anything. A lot of times we get a lot of gulls here, but also we get a lot of pelicans, and every once in a while we will get some ospreys that run through this part of the property as well. So I'm going to take a look, guys, and see what we can find here. I thought this might be a good time as I sit here and wait for something to fly by to really kind of talk about what we have going on. And right now there's a laughing gull flying over our head. We're not going to get him though, just a bad angle. And I don't want to leave this camera right here. I'm on a tripod, kind of like a light stand type of thing that's really light and portable, but I'm by water and I just want to, it's pretty windy out here. So just in case we get a gust of wind, I don't want this new camera flying into the water. There goes the laughing gull. Not sure if you could see him in the background or not, but he's kind of flying right over us, coming behind the camera now. Anyway, I thought this would be kind of a good time, though, to talk about what we're dealing with out here. So as you could probably see from the little recording I did, I was up in like a little dock area that has a roof. So, I may have been a little bit backlit in that last scene, but what we're dealing with out here is direct sunlight. I'll put a little, clip of what this creek looks like. I mean, it's super bright, but this is a good way to really work on exposure of the different birds, right? So if we're talking about the laughing gulls out here, we're talking about white birds. So, previous videos I talked about how we go about exposing for those brighter birds, right? We oftentimes have to go to -1 or -2 on our camera's light meter to make sure that we're underexposed. Otherwise, those white feathers are just going to be completely blown out, and we're going to lose all the detail, and it's just going to be a really crappy shot that you're probably not going to want to do anything with it. Conversely, if we get that brown pelican coming through, I'm still going to underexpose that, because I have found that even though those pelicans are dark brown in nature, they have white on their head, but those feathers, and it's probably because of the fact of the way the feathers are designed to be in the water, there's a big shine that kind of comes off of those feathers, especially when you're overexposed. So you want to be really careful, because it's very easy, even on those darker birds, to lose the detail in those feathers, and then it just ruins the shot completely. So those are some of the things that, you know, that we're going to work on out here. I mean, those are things that I'm always working on and always paying attention to, really getting those exposures done well so that we can kind of get them where they need to be is going to be really helpful. So hold on. Actually, I think we might actually have a pelican coming through. And he's down. This creek kind of does a big U. And so what he tends to do is he tends to fly around it, and he follows the path of the water looking for fish, and it sure is. So we're going to try to get a couple shots of him, and here he comes. We just got some good shots of a pelican. I think those will be all right. Always tough to tell on your camera, but if you have a mirrorless camera, it's always nice that you can look in your viewfinder, especially on these sunny days. I remember those days of having a DSLR, and you know, you're trying to look at the back screen, and when the sun is beating on it, it's so hard to see the photos. But with these mirrorless cameras, just being able to look in that viewfinder, you can see a pretty good, clear, crisp image. Of course, we're looking at it in a small size, so sometimes it's hard to see all the little, you know, the little details that come with it. And sometimes you get back to the computer and put it up on that big screen, and you're like, ugh, this sucks. But that's just the way photography goes, right? All right, well, we're going to keep looking around. Stay tuned. All right, so, you know, when I was down at the creek, I photographed that pelican with you guys watching there. I turned off the camera, and as soon as I did, at a relatively close by location, a gull landed on a pole. I got some pictures of him. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to get the camera back on and get that recorded, but things got a little bit quiet after that. So now I've moved back to the original location that we were at when I came out, and I have some bluebirds that are flying around here. So what I'm going to do right now is I put my camera shutter. I usually have it in the electronic shutter because with the Sony A1, that'll give me up to 30 frames per second. But what I'm going to do now is these songbirds, these eastern bluebirds, they tend to be pretty sensitive to humans and to noise. So I have silenced my shutter at this point too. So I will be going completely silent for shooting because they do pick up on the shutter sounds and it will scare them off. So I'm going to be taking some pictures here with these bluebirds once one lands in a spot where I can get them, and then we will see what we get. There's a lot of eastern bluebirds back here. There's a lot of cardinals back here. We have a turkey vulture flying overhead right now, but I never see them land. It's very rare that I ever see a turkey vulture land. I got a couple months ago, back in the fall, but we just got a yellow rumped warbler that just flew into the scene, so he's covered up by branches right now. Not sure if he'll be kind enough to come out into the open for us a little bit more. But otherwise, this picture would just be full of sticks. Cardinal flying across the field. So this field that I'm in right here, geez, I don't know, maybe about a week ago, this was all high grass. All behind me was high grass. You know, it was like that, kind of like that meadow type grass where it's high like that. And there were some low parts, but very little. I mean, it was just a small fraction of the field that had low grass, and there was a couple of trails that were, you know, matted down to like dirt. But they went through and mowed this earlier in the week, and they took out a lot of high grass where a lot of the birds were kind of hanging out. So I kind of feel bad for the birds because they're going to have to adapt, and of course they do, right? It's wildlife; they're used to this stuff. But this is a big problem for wildlife. There's constant things going on like this. I don't know what they're doing back here. This is part of our property that's in the way back, and there's no buildings or structures back here, just this field. So I don't know if there's any intention or plans for further development of our property, but I'm hoping there's not, because it would be a shame to lose this spot. This has been a really good spot for me. I had back before, well, right around Thanksgiving, early Christmas, I had a barred owl back here, and I came back here every day and saw him every day for about a week. Some days he eluded me, other days he did not. For a week we were kind of going back and forth. It was a little bit of a battle, but then he disappeared. One day I saw him, he was way in the back on a tree, and a couple of blue jays started to kind of antagonize him and give him a hard time, and he took off flying into the woods back there. And there's really not a lot of woods. Right on the other side of those trees is a whole housing development. But he took off into those woods, and that was the last time that I've seen him. So I don't know if he was just passing through or what was happening with that. But kind of depresses me. There's nothing better than seeing an owl. They're a ton of fun. So hopefully he comes back. Got an eastern bluebird back here. Not the best lighting though. He's right in the direct sun, so it's just gets real ugly. It's really hard to make a good picture when the bird is in direct sun like that. And these are the things that we talk about in, when I'm in the studio, we talk about these things here and there, about how you need to really be watching the background. You really need to be watching your lighting. This is really tough lighting right now. This is midday sun. It's currently 2:25, and so the sun is pretty high in the sky, right? It's creating a lot of harsh shadows. Hard to tell from this video probably because of the fact that I've got a neutral density filter on the front of the camera lens, which really makes the camera believe that it's much darker than it really is. So it's a little deceiving from that standpoint. But from a photography standpoint, the bird being here to a couple feet to the left or right can be all the difference in the world between getting a photo with good lighting and having a photo that's completely destroyed because the lighting sucks so bad. So these are the things that we're constantly worrying about and constantly dealing with as wildlife photographers, and this is what makes wildlife photography so hard, especially when you come out at this time of the day. I am definitely used to photographing a lot more in the morning and the evening times, so it can be frustrating out here sometimes to have a good pose from a bird and it only gets destroyed. It's not usable because of the fact that you just don't have the right lighting. So you got to take them as they come, I suppose, when it comes to wildlife photography. And we have a cardinal back there just screaming. It's a pretty loud call. I can see him from here now. I just spotted him. He's pretty far away. Couldn't get anything that's worthwhile from here. He'd be in good lighting though. He's kind of in a shady spot. It is super quiet out here right now. All right, we're gonna stop the recording.